All right, new builds are on the rise. There's more new construction going on than ever right now in Sacramento. It seems like there's a new community being popped up every couple months. So today we're going to talk about the new builds in the area and are they really worth purchasing in this market? So if you're looking for a new home, stay tuned. You definitely want to know these tips and tricks when buying new homes. Hey everybody, welcome to Sacramento's Real Estate Channel, where we talk everything there is to know about the brand new builds and of course, what there is to do here in Sacramento. If you've been thinking about making a move to the area, subscribe to the channel. And just so you know, we go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. We'll see you there. All right guys, welcome back. It's good to be back with you on this lovely Tuesday evening. Now it is definitely hot here in Sacramento, so wherever you are, I hope that you're in the AC. So new builds have been on the rise here in Sacramento. If you're first to watching this channel or one of our videos, you know that, you may not know that we cover a lot of the new construction here. So one interesting article recently came across my lap. In fact, one of our clients that is buying a brand new home, big shout out to you, sent me this link, and I think I've seen it before, but I thought I would bring it up because it kind of goes with the buyers that are actually buying a lot of the new construction here in Sacramento. So as you guys have probably heard, low inventory still, despite the higher interest rates, it just still kept a lot of the homes off the market. So still not a ton of options to choose from when it comes to resale. Now that pushes a lot of people to go into the new construction market. So of course, today I'm going to talk about some things to look out for with new builds, but really quickly, I wanted to bring up this article. So this is actually through Redfin, and this is showing, this came out a few months ago, by the way, so it may not be the most current, but at least it gives us a good idea. Now, it's saying that this is the top 10 metros that home buyers are moving into by net inflow. And of course, if you go down there to number 6, we have the Sacramento, California metro. People definitely flowing in. And primarily, it's saying from San Francisco and Chicago is going to be the top out-of-state origin. Whereas in California, it's going to be San Francisco, I would say more of the Bay Area. So of course, we kind of knew that, but being number 6 out of 10 for the nation, of course, we have, that just shows that many people are still moving into town. Now, it's not only people moving in that are very interested in the new construction, it's also a lot of local people, right? When you're looking around trying to shop for a home and you can't really find the inventory on the market, or it's not fitting the bill, or it's highly competitive where you're competing with a few offers, new construction might seem like a good place to go. So again, I'm going to review some things on what to consider before buying a brand new home. Now, number one is this, that most people need to consider is going to be the wait time to build that home. Now, what you may not know is that on average, it takes probably about 6 months to build your standard home here. When we're talking about a big developer, you know, such as the name brand ones that you probably see around as you're driving, you might see the signs for them. A more private builder could probably do it. It's probably going to take more time, but with that being said, about 6 months to build a home. We're talking something about 2,000 square feet, more or less, that size home. Now, once you get into the more luxury market, let's say something like even like a semi-custom with Toll Brothers, El Dorado Hills, for instance, or the Rockland location, or even a builder like Tim Lewis doing the $1 million mark as well at Magnolia and Granite Bay, that's going to be more of a 12-month or more process. Okay. And I've seen those go longer, especially when we had delays and shortages at the time. Right now, we're looking at 12 months, maybe a little bit more. So keep that in mind. You're looking at 6 to 12 months, and the home could be delayed. They have an estimated, close date, but it can definitely get delayed a month or two, just depending what the holdups are. So keep that in mind. So you're going to need to have that flexibility if you're going to want to buy a new build. Of course, there are going to be some quick moving options. Some of you guys that have seen the channel, I talk about that. And staying up to date with all the builders, which we do weekly, we talk to the reps all the time. We know if there's been a buyer that was in contract on a certain home, maybe for a variety of reasons, they might have canceled on that home is still going to continue to be built by that builder. And they want to sell that home typically ASAP. So with that being said, you do have some quick moving options where, you might only have to wait a few months to get into a home, which we literally just had a client sign up for one in West Roseville where they're only waiting about 3 months or less to get into their brand new home. So those opportunities do come up once in a while, and it's good to be connected with someone who knows the market, especially the new construction market. So If that's someone like you still want new construction, but you want to get that edge, you can always reach out to our team down below as well. We'd be happy to assist. So first one is the waiting time. Number 2, you are typically paying a higher price. Of course, just like buying anything new, you're typically paying top price for that product. And same typically goes with new construction homes. So you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for that new smell. That home that's never been lived in or used, you're going to pay for it. So typically you are paying a higher price or more premium. Now, I will say that generally speaking, because there are definitely areas where I've personally seen that a new construction home, we can actually get a better deal. And that's when there's typically a lot of new construction in a certain congested area. And maybe not as many resale homes. Those builders, depending on how competitive it is with other builders, may bring down their pricing a little bit, may even offer some really great incentives to cover your closing costs or give some sort of incentives with that being said. So then sometimes you can get a better deal, but typically speaking, you're going to be paying a more premium, higher price for the area because it is a new home. Number 3, upgrades, costs, and lot premiums. Now, a lot of people don't consider this if they haven't looked into new builds much, but this is going to be a big one for you. And this is really going to change the game on the price of the home. And what upgrades, costs, and lot premiums are two different things. So a lot of the times I have, a client reaching out to me. They might send me a link or a website. And typically, especially now, the builders might be posting up a couple of their homes online, and it shows like it's a regular home, and it might be listed for, I don't know, let's say $700,000. What you're not seeing is the builder most likely is just advertising their current base price on that home, even though you see a fully done home in the pictures on the mock-up, whatever. The reality is most likely, more often than not, what they're advertising is the base price of that home, let's say $700K. Once you get there, they might also let you know some of the upgrades costs, right? And you don't really know those till you get into the process. You set up an appointment with their design center and whatnot. You're going to spend a few hours picking out all the tile, all the countertops, what kind of sink you want. You want that modern farmhouse style sink, or you want a stainless steel sink, all the flooring in the house, all the different upgrades. And that, on an entry-level home can easily be 30, 40, 60 grand. Or on the high-end luxury market that we sell, once you're, pushing the 1.2, 1.4 up to the $2 million mark, that can easily be $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. I've seen some clients push $500,000 in upgrades. So that's going to be added on to the base price that you're seeing, right? So keep that in mind. And typically what you're getting with the builder, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but it's not really that exciting. The cabinets that you get, or the color of the flooring, or the material of the flooring, it's really typically not the best or the most exciting stuff that's going to make your house really look like that model home. So keep that in mind. Now, the second thing on that one is going to be the lot premium. So depending where you're buying, sometimes you're going to be buying in a very flat area. There's nothing special about it. The lots might even look the same, but the builder still might charge you a $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 lot premium based on exactly where you're located. So for instance, you get a corner lot, one less neighbor, technically you might be paying for that, right? Or you might have a lot that has a possible RV access, or maybe get a bigger driveway eventually added on. They're going to charge a premium for that. And of course, if you get into the more, luxury market, we're pushing the $1 million mark. Let's say the homes, they have views or some sort of a ravine or green belt behind, or you can see the sunset, or a pool-sized lot, so a much bigger lot. They're definitely going to charge some hefty premiums. And those I don't even want to quote, but you can be $50,000, $100,000. I've seen lot premiums pushing $300,000 to $400,000 on the most premium lots here. And again, we're talking about builders that are building a lot of homes, not just one builder that might be building a custom home for you somewhere on some certain lot. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, that being said, another cost. So this is number 4. Something you want to know before buying a new home is going to be the solar costs, or the cost to lease that solar. So as of 2020, California is requiring all new construction homes to have solar. So of course, that's moved on to the builder's requirement. And of course, the builder is requiring that of the buyer, because they're going to put on the solar no matter what you try to negotiate. They already have contracts in place with big solar companies that are going to be doing their specific homes, their specific track. So I've had clients say, well, I want to get my own solar company or this and that. Typically speaking, they're probably not going to let you, just being honest. And so that being said, solar is going to cost you. Of course, depending on the size of the home, the kilowatt system, and the company that's doing it, it could vary. But on a home, let's say, I don't know, 2,000 square feet, a little bit under that, you can expect to pay maybe $16,000, $17,000 up to $20,000 for that solar system. If you're going to be going a much bigger home, bigger size home, it could definitely go up from there. So that's kind of more entry level to cost to buy. Now, if you do buy, they're just going to add that price on to your overall purchase price. So if you're buying for $600, now you're buying for $620. So you can work it into your loan technically on the purchase, which is nice. But some people don't like that. Other people may want to do the lease option. So it'll be a monthly cost, and that way you are leasing from the solar company those panels. And a lot of people choose to do that. Now, whether one's right or one's wrong, I can't really say, because I would say that a lot of our clients, honestly, about 50-50. A lot go towards the lease option and a lot go towards the purchase option. So it's kind of a mixed bag there, and there's personal benefits to either one, I would say. Now, enough on that. I want to do want to bring up some more points really quickly. I'm going to go kind of quickly through this information today, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. And of course, if you're having any questions about buying a new home or what that process looks like, or maybe you have a quick question, drop it in the chat right there. I'll definitely visit those before we finish the live stream today, answer as many as I can as we go along. Now, that being said, we do have some other things to consider before buying a new home. And another one is smaller backyards. Typically on a lot of these new builds, tract home style homes, you're getting a lot of smaller yards, even here in Sacramento. Now, I know a lot of people might complain about that. Everybody wants a bigger yard for the dogs, maybe get a little playground set up for their kids, place to hang out. But it is what it is, smaller backyards. There are a few developments that are doing bigger backyards. They charge typically a little bit more for that, and they know they have a product that people like with the larger lots. So if that's something you're interested in, or you have an area in mind and want to know, reach out to us down below, because we can definitely at least point you in the right direction with that. There are even some in Granite Bay right now. Of course, you're in the luxury market, pushing 1 acre. Now, that's not really as heard of when it comes to kind of semi-custom and tract development. But in Granite Bay, you have Tim Lewis. In fact, we're getting one in contract here shortly. So congrats to you guys. And that's going to be about 1 acre lot. So that's pretty cool to see that as well. Now, here we go. I want to continue really quickly. The other thing on the backyards thing before I forget is also landscape costs. This is going to be a big one with new construction, because you're going to buy a home. You're going to put your down payment, your closing cost, of course, new furniture, fridge, washer, dryer. All those are other expenses. But another big one is going to be landscaping. So landscaping can really stick the bill a little bit. So consider that as well. Some builders you might even see it in the CC&Rs or even in the HOA rules. So keep that in mind, that some may say that, hey, once you close on this home, you need to get your landscaping done in the next, let's say, 3 months. So just keep that in mind. You might want to do even a basic landscape, or they might ask you to do that. So you can't just leave it blank and dusty and dirty for the end of time so just keep that in mind. Now, it's not a must, and each community is different. I've seen some people buy homes and they haven't done anything with the backyard for the last year, and that's totally fine. But just keep that in mind. So a word to the wise, that's going to be another big item to take care of when moving into a home. I see someone just hit the like. So if you're enjoying this, give it that thumbs up. We work really hard to bring you guys valuable information literally every week. So I appreciate you guys that are watching and sharing this with your friends or people that might be moving into the area. I do really appreciate that. Now, the other big item that a lot of people might not know is when you're buying a new home, and you definitely want to know this, you definitely want to see a breakdown of this, is going to be your tax rate, your Mello-Roos. Essentially, buying a new home, you're more than likely, specifically here in the Sacramento region, no matter how far you go, within a half hour to 45 minutes, you're going to run into a new build, and they all have Mello-Roos or a higher tax rate. Now, there's been literally a handful that I've seen with very minimal Mello-Roos or higher tax rates in an area. Most of them typically do. Now, on average with Mello-Roos, just to break it down simply and not go too far into detail, I just tell people, hey, it's kind of like an extra tax and it's worked into your overall tax bill. Okay. So our tax base is about 1% for the Sacramento region, but on new builds, you can definitely be paying 1.2, 1.3. I've seen even up to 1.8% on the tax rate. So keep that in mind. That's when everything is worked in together. So it can get substantially higher in cost just to live in an area. Now, one area that a lot of people reach out to us for buying homes in is, let's say in Folsom Ranch. They're known to have a higher tax rate, right? Most of those homes that I've personally seen, you're looking at like 1.3, 1.4% or more on your tax rate. So you kind of have to pay to play to be in a newer area. And what those Mello-Roos do is essentially they're paying for those new schools coming in. They're paying for that fire station to be there, the police station coming in, all the infrastructure to the area. So keep that in mind. Even though you get the best of the best, all the new stuff, all the new parks, all the new enjoyment, you're paying for that. Typically. Okay. So keep an eye on that. If you're going with a builder or a community, they can vary even if they're down the street from each other. Don't think that one is the same as the other. Different builders, even sometimes different size of the home will be a different Mello-Roos or even a different tax rate. So keep that in mind. That's a big one. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I see Chris already hopping on here. Christopher saying so helpful. Big shout out to you guys. Christopher's out of Hawaii, where I just was in Maui a few weeks ago. So gotta love Hawaii. Big shout out to you, man. Thanks for hopping on. And I'll get to some of your guys' questions here as well. So if you do have a question or something specific, I'll bring it up. Now, some other things. Now, this is probably going to be my last one that I really want to look out for. And then I'm going to talk about the perks of buying a new build. So last one I'm going to say is this, and this is point number 7. If you're taking notes, which I know you guys are, right? Who doesn't take notes watching YouTube? We're here to learn. It's going to be dealing with the new construction around your home. Now, you don't really think about this. You know, you're going to be in a new area. Everything's so beautiful. Everything's so well taken care of and manicured. But the reality is, especially if you're one of the more entry-level buyers for that specific neighborhood, that specific tract, you have to consider that you're going to have construction going on in your area probably from 8 a.m., 9 a.m. till probably about 3 p.m. in the afternoon or later, while the homes next to you are getting built, framed, you know, getting painted with stucco, everything getting implemented, bunch of big trucks dropping off stuff and all that jazz that goes with it. So keep that in mind. The new construction, especially if you work from home during those hours or you like to sleep in or whatnot, keep an eye out for that. You might want to buy something that's already kind of further along in construction, or maybe the home that you're buying or planning to buy, the homes around there have kind of been already developed, so you're not dealing with that as much. But that's a big one. That's a big one, especially if people work from home. They don't want to hear that noise throughout the day. It could be bothersome, or if they have little kids that nap throughout the day. Of course, with newer homes, they're more insulated. They're more soundproof, I would say, so it might not be terrible, but you're definitely going to deal with that traffic and that noise and nails in the street or whatnot. Now, I'm probably making it sound worse than it is, but I've heard some complaints, so I want to let you know. Now, of course, I'm drinking really hot tea. It's like 100 degrees outside, so my European side is coming out today. Love drinking tea in the afternoon, so let's continue into it. Perks of new builds. I want to just really tell you some of the perks of buying a new home. So if you're already set on buying a new home, I'm just going to affirm whatever you're already believing right now, okay? Perks of buying a new build. New home smell. You just can't beat it. It's like buying a new car. That smell, knowing no one's ever really purchased it, lived in it, used it, is a big deal for a lot of people. And I absolutely love it. There's nothing like walking into a brand new home that's just been cleaned and it's ready to pass off the keys. There's nothing like it. And I will say that's a huge benefit for some people. They know there's no odd loose ends in the home for the most part. But that's a big deal. So nothing like a new home, no sketchy stuff happened in that home so far. So it's good. Okay. Now, that's one thing of perk of buying a new build. Second perk, no worries about things being needed to be fixed or repaired. So with that being said, when you're buying a new home, you're buying a finished product. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. I sold so many new construction homes. I mean, this is something that we do a lot of. In fact, we're closing another one in Rockland tomorrow and have multiple getting into contract this week. In fact, I just got one into contract in Folsom Ranch like just today before the live. So big shout out to our client. I know he's probably watching this, but It's one of those things that there's no perfect house, regardless if you're spending $1 million or 500,000. There's no perfect home. But the beauty of that is that if there is something outstanding or needing to be fixed or wasn't done right, typically with these big builders, I mean, they're going to take care of you. Now, I know online you might see a plethora of different reviews or issues about certain builders, which maybe rightfully so. I mean, a lot of them are nationwide or building tons of hundreds of developments. It makes sense. There's going to be some bad reviews, like even from the high-end builders to the low end. It's all over the range. But I will say you're not going to really need to be worrying about fixing things or repairing things. And if there is something that's out of place, typically they'll come and repair it, which has been great. In fact, I've been actually dealing with that with one of our new construction homes closing tomorrow. So they've been pretty good about dialing in a lot of those things that were missed. And we're talking about a home that's pushing $1 million. Okay. So just want to really bring some clarity to people out there and just give you like an understanding and also some realistic expectation. Also, the other thing that you should consider, I guess this is number 3, that goes in line with this, is that you have a 1-year fit and finish warranty. Now that's pretty standard with new construction homes. So I'd say this is a perk, especially you bought the home, you moved in, the builder is not just going to forget you. You know, some might, but for the most part, the ones we work with, they're pretty good. They'll take care of you. And, you know, I'll give you my inside scoop on that, but you typically have a 1-year fit and finish warranty. So that means you move in, you know, the house is going to be settling. It's getting used to the new foundation. The walls are going to move. It's going to get hotter. It's going to get colder. The walls are going to contract. You're probably going to see even some small fractures in your drywall throughout the house. Hopefully not too big. Your stucco, you might see some fractures here and there. And what they'll do, and if they miss some spots or whatnot, you're going to have a list, and they're going to come in before that 1 year, and they're going to come in and patch and fix items. Of course, they have their list of what they will do or won't do, but a lot of the cosmetic work, even sometimes some of the builders have been really great. You know, you've moved in, you accidentally bumped the wall with your couch. They'll fix that before the 1 year. So you just got to make sure to put it in and put it on the calendar with them. So that's a pretty cool thing. You're going to move in, you're going to scuff some walls. Kids might bump into some stuff. A lot of them will still honor those things and fix them. Okay. So check with your builder, but a lot of them, my personal experience has been, they'll take care of you. So that's pretty cool as well. Perks of buying a new build. Other thing, and this would be number 4, I guess, is going to be the 10-year structural warranty. So this is standard across the board. New builders offer a 10-year structural warranty. So if anything goes wrong with the structure of the integrity of the property, you're good for 10 years. And that's typically foundational, structural. So your framing, your roof, stuff like that. So keep that in mind. And of course, with your stuff like windows, AC, Windows, AC, roof, you're going to have some manufacturer warranties there as well, and those can vary, so I don't want to get too much into that. So that's another big perk of buying a new build. And of course, with the roof, I mean, it's a brand new roof. You're probably going to be good for should be good for at least 20, 25 years, typically speaking. The other thing is that's a big perk of buying new construction homes. This can be number 5, usually in the newer parts of town. These are going to be the newest, best up-and-coming communities, typically speaking. Are there developments in older areas that are happening? Absolutely. But typically speaking, as Sacramento is growing wider and wider and wider, those are kind of the new up and coming communities where more development, more retail, more shopping, gas stations, infrastructure, etc., schools, parks, all that will just keep getting built with it, and they plan for that as well. So you're typically going to be in the newer parts of town, future development potential. And what I've seen, especially over the last few years, if you buy in enough on that edge, they're just going to keep building after you if there's land on the outskirts, and your property's going to be going up in value. So we've seen that a lot. So that's been really great to see. Now, of course, with that being in a newer area, like as I mentioned, schools, you're going to be typically in better school districts. So especially like in Roseville, certain parts of West Roseville, if you're buying a new home, you're going to be in a really nice new community with new elementary, middle schools, and high schools nearby. Same thing with a variety of different areas. So that's really cool as well. So if you're a young family, if you're planning on having kids, and school's a big deal, especially public education, being in newer areas. And again, this is kind of a rule of thumb, not always. You can consult with us. If there's a certain builder you want to buy with or a certain area, let us know, because sometimes it's even multiple districts in an area, and one will be head and shoulders better rating than the one right next door. So just kind of beware on that, and you definitely want to verify what school district you're going to be in. Okay. So better schools most of the time. So those are just some of the perks when it comes to buying new builds. Now, of course, if you're probably watching this, if you're thinking about buying a new home, I'm probably already reaffirming what you already think. But for the people out there that are just getting into the research phase, I hope this helps you out. I hope this is beneficial. Now, really quickly, before we kind of get too far into it, I do want to review some of the comments. So if you guys have anything in mind that you want to ask, drop it in the chat down below. It's right there. I see Priscilla hopping on. Thank you so much for being on. She said, worth it if you buy with Sam. He will help you get the best deal. Now, those are the type of comments I like. Thank you so much, Priscilla. I really appreciate that. I see another comment from her as well. I personally think new is always better, but of course, everyone has different preferences. Some prefer more established communities. And I'll say that as well. Literally, we just had some great clients coming from out of town yesterday. And this was the same conversation. Hey, we prefer an older established community, and we prefer to maybe even do the remodel ourselves or have the home remodeled, but we'd like to be in an established area. Well, what are the perks of an established area? You know, you're gonna have, first of all, you're gonna know who your neighbors are. That's one. Second of all is landscaping, trees, all of that. It just looks more mature and grown in when you have tall, beautiful trees all around. It just has such a different feel and a vibe. When you go into new construction, typically they're planting little tiny sad trees that are going to take years to develop, kind of like the one in my front yard that I just planted a few months ago. It's just it's just one tree in my front yard. So nothing exciting there, but I do agree there's definitely preferences on that or access to certain areas. So we do both, guys, and I don't want to make it seem like sometimes we just do a lot of only new construction, or, you know, some people call me and they say, you're the new construction guy, right? I'm like, yeah. But we still sell a lot of resale homes as well. We help people buy and sell their properties all the time in the region. So if there's any way we can help you out, let us know down below. I see someone hopping on here. Caitlin, thanks for watching. Hey, Sam, could you do a segment on the Meritage community in near downtown Lincoln? Sure. I'll have to double check on that one as well. I know they've actually been emailing me a ton about their communities lately. They've got some really good opportunities, specifically with that builder. They're kind of an all-inclusive builder. Some of their products, they may include some of their upgrades at a really low cost. So they're not going to typically charge you an arm and a leg for that, which has been good to see. And I do see one last comment before I kind of move on. Fences getting built is my favorite. I'm guessing you're dealing with a new construction home right now or around you. So good to see you on. Thanks for hopping on as well. Now, with that being said, I want to kind of maybe bring some attention to maybe some of the new build areas right now. If you are considering new construction in the Sacramento region, I'll just kind of name off a few places where I think are hot buys. A few weeks ago, by the way, speaking on this topic, I'll probably try to link it after, but you can see it on the channel definitely. As I talk about some of the best areas in Sacramento, some of the best areas to invest in Sacramento. That one just came out of maybe 3-4 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. You might want to watch that because I really dive deeper into the new construction development in different pockets. And I talk about also what areas I feel have a lot of future potential, especially if you're one of the more long-term buyers and you're looking for a really long-term hold approach, whether you're an investor or just looking for your family to plant roots for the next, 5, 10, 15 years. So definitely make sure to check that video out. Hopefully it's beneficial to you. So some hot new build areas right now that I would look out for, as I've mentioned, it's going to be Roseville. Now, if you're buying new construction in Roseville, primarily you're going to be on the west side of Roseville, okay? East Roseville, Central Roseville, not too much new construction. In fact, none that I can think of off the top of my head. Mainly West Roseville is going to be all that new construction. One good thing out there is there's still a lot of land. There's still a lot of blank land around there that could be developed. The downside is a lot of the shopping and retail, you're still going to have to drive into that Central or even parts of East Roseville to get to it. But it is developing, and I know that there's a lot of future plans for it. In fact, I believe there's already there's been some rumors that Costco is going to be out there and whatnot, and that they were going to build a highway off the back. So that's pretty cool as well once they do that. But again, future, I can't promise that it's going to be in the next couple of years because I personally am not sure yet. So I think West Roseville is going to be a big one. It already is a big one. We have a lot of interest on that one. Second one is going to be Folsom, primarily Folsom Ranch, Russell Ranch, White Rock Springs. That's kind of an area which, generally speaking, is called Folsom Ranch. That's going to be south of Highway 50, where Folsom is. That area is just developing like crazy. We have a ton of new construction homes, even in contract, being built right now out there. Beautiful homes, a lot. In fact, like I just said, we got one in contract today out there. A lot of opportunity there. You can definitely start probably in the low 600s. I know there's homes advertised in the 500s there, which we've covered before, but I would say, generally speaking, you're going to be in the low 600s, definitely into the $1 million or more mark. Especially in Russell Ranch, you can definitely pay up to $1.5 million. I've even seen homes right now, they're on the market there for about $1.8 million. So you could definitely reach the higher price point in that part of Folsom. Now, another area that I would consider, of course, and not everyone's going to be able to buy here, but I think it's kind of cream of the crop, if you can, is going to be El Dorado Hills. So El Dorado Hills, primarily like Toll Brothers is coming in right now. And there's been a lot of attraction. In fact, we're working on a deal with Toll Brothers right now. So super excited for my clients on that one. But really, you're starting there like 1.3, 1.4 million plus upgrades. I mean, that house is easily $1.6 to $1.8 million. But I think that one's going to have a lot of potential. Once those models are sold, they're going to be in the 2 millions, no doubt. So it's going to be crazy to see that. Now, there are a few other developments. I know that if you like El Dorado Hills, if you like that separated feel, if you want to go even further, you can go into Rescue, which is right next door to El Dorado Hills. Blue Mountain Communities has a community there right now. They're selling off a few other homes, but they are later this year coming out with a brand new community that is advertising that they're going to have 1 or 2 acre lots. So if you're a client that's looking for a bigger home, I think these are going to be 4,000 square feet or larger, and you want that acreage, you want that feel. This is just outside of El Dorado Hills. You might want to check it out or reach out to us. I could get you some preliminary information, but that one is going to be exciting. For sure going to be in the $1 million plus mark, so keep an eye out for that. But check that out. Now, another community is going to be Elk Grove. Elk Grove has been developing like crazy. Now, over the few years, especially during COVID season, Elk Grove was just blowing off the walls, like one of the hottest selling cities. It was super hard to even get an offer accepted. Now, I wouldn't say it's as crazy, but still a lot of interest still in Elk Grove. A lot of people wanting to move into Elk Grove, and rightfully so. They have an excellent school district, Elk Grove Unified School District, and it's just a newer area. But right now, they're building a ton. Primarily, Taylor Morrison comes to mind. They're doing like 3 or 4 communities out there at once right now. Also going to be starting in the high 5s, low 600s starting. Easily can go into the 800s there. So I think that one's one to keep an eye out, especially if you're considering Elk Grove or that southern part of Sacramento. Another area that's really developing and just blowing off the walls is going to be Rancho Cordova. Outside the Anatolia area, you have Montelena out there. Handful of builders just developing like crazy. More affordable homes, I would say, here for the new construction development. You're going to have more entry-level priced homes like in the mid 500s, 600s, something like that. There still is homes there in the 8s and 9s, new construction. If you want a really big home, like pushing 4,000 square feet. So interesting to see that as well. So those are kind of some of the hot new build areas that come to mind. Of course, there's a lot more throughout Sacramento. So if you guys are ever considering a part of Sacramento that you're looking to buy a new construction home or a resale home, please reach out to me and my team down below. We'd love to set up a quick consultation call with you. Only takes about 10 or 15 minutes. Just really hear you out, see what you're looking for, and then we can also recommend what areas would be the best for you, your budget, your family, your needs. So if that's something that would be beneficial to you, please reach out to us down below. You can give us a call or text or an email, and we'd be happy to set that up for you. So I hope you guys are enjoying this show so far. I see more people are still getting on tonight. So if there's any questions before we finish off, let me know. I do see one last question hopping on here so far. Vamsi, thank you for hopping on. I see your question. What do you think of Lennar Russell Ranch homes? A lot of bad reviews on BBB and consumer review websites. So your statement kind of goes back with what I said even earlier in the stream, is that there's definitely some bad reviews out there with certain builders, especially the bigger ones. Like Lennar is probably the biggest builder, like nationally, and even here they probably have the most communities in the Sacramento region. Am I a huge fan of them? Honestly, no. And if you're a client or have ever reached out to me, you've probably heard me say that before. They do get some bad reviews, and I think a lot of it has to do with they're in high production. So they do a little bit different than other builders. A lot of the times I see Lennar, especially for certain communities, just keep building homes. Like their whole thing is just production to keep moving. So the quality may slack there. So they're just pumping homes out at a much faster pace, and they just have so many developments going on. For the price point, they're typically more aggressively priced. Even when the market shifted, I did definitely see them do probably the bigger price drops, whereas other builders were kind of holding on to their prices or giving much fewer incentives compared to Lennar. So I did see some bigger negotiations there with Lennar. But at the same time, I think now with the amount of interest and activity in the market, we're not going to see those huge declines or huge incentives or things like that. Personally, me as a buyer, as a real estate agent in the market that's always active, have I sold them? Yes. Have I put them on the channel? Absolutely. Do they have some of the most best lots, premium areas such as Russell Ranch? Hands down, and they will continue to sell those. Are you going to get a product like, say, Toll Brothers or Taylor Morrison with the Lennar? I don't think so. And I don't think that when it comes to the upgrades, if that's a big deal for you or your family, when you go into the design center and pick out everything in the home or make it look really wow, they just don't have that compared to some of the other builders. But do they have the location? Yes, definitely. So if the location is the big deal for you and you're not finding anything else, might be a good one. But again, that's just my little opinion. I don't want to go too far on that because I know I'll definitely get some comments about that one. But I've had clients buy them. So again, nothing against them. I'm just personally not the biggest fan of Lennar. And you'll hear me say that. And sometimes I even get people reach out to me like, well, you don't like Lennar because they do discounted commissions, which is true, but that's not the main thing. In fact, they even went away with commissions for a long time. I lost so many clients that I brought in through their door that ended up buying a property with them, and they were not offering any commissions or incentives whatsoever. So I've experienced all of it with various builders. In fact, today I even had a client, maybe she's watching, so big shout out to you, and I don't like to say names, but she was like, well, this so-and-so builder, we're going to get a house in contract with them, but I see your commission on it. Why is it so low? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. She's like, we're buying this very high price home. Like, it's quite low. I thought it was like a percentage. I'm like, exactly. So a lot of the builders did shrink or go away with commissions. So I know a lot of people have interest in that or something like that, but it's really not always what you think. So again, it's just part of the game. So I hope you guys have found this beneficial. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. I really want you to get the information on new construction homes here in the Sacramento region, especially if you're looking to buy or sell a home here in the area. We'd love for you to reach out to our team. We'd love to be a real estate resource of choice for you here in Sacramento. And guys, always reach out to our team. If there's any way that even if you just have a question, it's totally fine. We'd love to be of help. And then make sure to check out our other videos. I'll try to link a few, but check out the best areas in Sacramento. Check out some of our new construction homes. In fact, we have a playlist specifically dedicated to new construction homes all over Sacramento. So if you want to view some of the models, some of the homes in different areas, just to kind of get an idea of style and whatnot, check out those videos as well. We release them weekly. So would love for you to check those out. And give this video a thumbs up. If it's beneficial, share it with someone who you think would benefit from it. I know some of you guys might be watching from different parts all over the world. I've had people reach out to me from even out of country recently. So if you're benefiting from this, please give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with a friend or someone you may know who might be moving into the area. I truly appreciate it. Guys, I'm off. I got to take my lady out to the movie theater. It's date night, and really excited about that one. So really happy to have you guys on. It's been a pleasure. My name is Sam with Golovey Real Estate at your service. We'll see you guys next week at 5:30 p.m. Take care.